Hey folks, Dude here, and I'm about a half asleep, not really liking a dude, and if you look at the traffic load, it's really light, and there's a reason why. It's early, man. Alright, well, I gotta get loaded up in myself here in the truck, and we're gonna rock and roll on out of the lot and head on out, go up to, well, so far up, the state of Pennsylvania, that I'm gonna be in New York City. Well, I'm gonna be in New York. I mean, I know I'm from the city, and it's one of those things. You're from the city and you think pretty much revolves around the city, even though you really don't revolve around the city. All right, I'm gonna get hooked up. Well, load myself and drive on down the road. Not good times. All right, it's a 240-mile run, and this is predominantly what I'm seeing. Just road, lots of road, more road. Some crap as I'm passing it. More driving. Really boring. 240 miles worth. Where's all the gun stores? I keep seeing all kinds of, like, adult film places and what have you. And, I don't buy pornography. You know what? With the internet, you can put something really innocent in there, and you pretty much can find just about anything you're looking for that is just, well, hell, I think you can find anteater porn if you look hard enough. I'm not into anteater porn. Ew. Alright, I'm gonna break off on this second. Alright, now, some of these town names really kind of crack me up. I mean, I just left Shamokin, and I'm heading toward Northumberland. There's a bunch of water around here, and dams and stuff, and it's really kind of rocky, hilly, Pennsylvania type place. And I mean, some of these town names really just crack me up, though. I mean, Shamokin. I read S-H-A-M-O-K-I-N. Shamokin. Dude, this sucker's smoking. I think it probably came out like that, and they're like, nah, dude, no, you can't call it smoking. You got to call it something better. And they're like, what about if we put an A in it? Oh, okay, cool. What about Northumberland? Oh, no, we can't call it that. Drop the C. We'll call it Northumberland. Some of these town names they come up with are just, well, they're goofy, okay? I know if you guys live there, they're cool and all, but, some of them are just goofy. All right, I'm going to break off on this piece, and, me and my philosophical words of wisdom, mean about damn near nothing, so I'm just basically being a goofball. All right, time to keep rolling north. Alright, you guys are now wondering why I got Aldo Nova Fantasy cranked up. There's a very good reason. I've actually got the cassette for this album, and this is the only good song on the album. The rest of the album just basically flat out sucks. And the thing that kind of really sucks more than anything is the fact that probably a lot of people bought that album and shelled out, the large green for a full album of nothing but suck, except for one song. I tend to think they do a lot of that, in, well, the music business in the first place. You get like the one or two good songs, and the rest of the album just blows. I hate that. This is actually a good tune, but the rest of the album, man, it's a total waste. And I wasn't really crying too loud because I bought it at like a secondhand store or pawn shop or something, and that's going back some years because I don't think anybody plays with cassette tapes much anymore. Alright, I know CD-ROM is pretty much it. Oh well. Alright folks, another one of these town names that just cracks me up. Over here we have Turboville. Turboville, land of the really fast fish. No, I think they're talking about something else, but there is a fish called a turbo, and I don't know if it's particularly fast, if it's got, I don't know, like pressure-induced induction system and enhanced performance items. Maybe I'm just being silly. I'm gonna break off on this one. Alright, folks. There's a name to my pain. It's called this guy in front of me, and he's a dragonfly. Now, why would you call a loaded tractor trailer a Dragonfly? Well, it's very simple. Because, well, he drags up the hill, and once he gets to the top, he flies down on the other side. Now, the problem is, I'm running empty. I got no payload. I can just flat out slapdash smoke down these hills. Well, not really fly up the hills themselves, but coming down the other side, I can fly because I got no payload to worry about. My braking is going to be good. Him, because he's got payload, he's got, well, 80,000 gross vehicle weight rating is what he's probably loaded up to, and it takes a long time to stop, especially on a hill. If you build speed on a hill, trying to stop is never fun. You got to keep your speed down, and you have to maintain your control. Because if you're flying down a hill, and all of a sudden you go, hey, I'm doing 70 miles an hour, you're going downhill at 70 miles an hour trying to stop, it ain't gonna happen. It's called, well, momentum. Momentum can be a mofo. And, well, in this case, this guy's really kicking my ass, because I'm trying to get down the hills, I'm trying to get my time laid in, and also, I'm cheating like a mother, because I'm actually trying to use the, well, I'm cheating the dashboard because I can actually read, like, my miles per gallon. And this truck normally runs about 8 miles per gallon. Before Dragonfly there popped in front of me, I was averaging 10 miles per gallon. Now, to pick up an extra 2 miles per gallon means my tank is going to last that much longer. But now that I'm stuck behind Slowboy here, he's kicking my tail for gas mileage. It's a dollar and cents thing. You know, also the other thing, too, is I really don't want to fuel up in New York. And I sure don't want to fuel up for $4.04. Because on our property, we've got a bulk tank. We're getting into diesel for under $4. Easy. I don't want to give an exact number, but we're way under $4. And if I could save a quarter per gallon or more, that adds up quick. And you start talking about a 50-gallon tank. Yeah, that hurts. So let me get out of the way to Dragonfly here and see if I can't make some time. Maybe Dragonfly will get in my way. Damn it. Oh well, little butt bung's in my way. I hate that. Alright, according to the Garmin, I think this is going to be PA. Oh no! New York City! No, I'm kidding. They're crossing over to the state now. And let's see. Is anything changing? Let's see. Any signs changing? No, nothing. Well, nope. Wait. Hold it. Hup, whoop, whoop. There's a sign there that says Waverly, New York. Okay, so I'm officially out of PA and into New York. Does it look like New York? Nah, it looks a hell of a lot like PA and doesn't look like any part of New York I've ever been in. Maybe Long Island. Maybe. The frickin' island. Oh well, I'm in New York. Joy. Not the good part either, but I'm in New York. Alright, I got my 2 cars. Heading back to, well, into Pennsylvania. And now I gotta cut all the way across the state of Pennsylvania, going back yet again. This time I'm now gonna be running all the hills and killing my gas mileage with 2 cars on the back. Should be infamously fun times. Hopefully I don't get stuck behind another Dragonfly again. That guy kicked my butt, man. Alright, heading back, and, well, heading back to the, well, my burg. I'll break off on this section. Alright, folks, I traded 1 Dragonfly, and now I've got 2 Dragonflies. Good times. Not frickin' really. But I'm stuck with dealing with them, and they're crawling up the hills, and they're making me slow down. And of course I got 2 cars on board. This thing does not accelerate like a Ferrari. Ugh, really annoying. Oh well, another day at work. Here we go again. Excuse the finger. Alright folks, we are backing up. Well, I'm going to consider this fairly close to home. I'm now looking at the Shrewsbury exit, which puts me closer to home and a damn sight closer than, well, Waverly, New York, say about 200 miles back there. Ugh. Man, this is a long run. I think my mileage was like 240 one way, and I mean, of course, you know, you have auxiliary things where basically your Garmin says, oh no, I have a better route for you going back. So I don't know if it's going to come out to be the same mileage in both directions. I know looking at the odometer, though, when I had to throw some extra fuel in here because I was sucking fumes, I threw an extra 10 gallons in on top of what I had left before the light of doom came on. And this truck actually is pretty nice because it basically, you know, it turns the light on at the same time this beeper starts going beep, 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 saying, dude, you better get gas or you're done. I'm now looking at 37 miles on the Baltimore sign, which means basically for me to hit my my route of excursion doesn't put me quite into the city. I mean, that's the number they say to put you into the city. The number I need to hit is basically what puts me on the Baltimore Beltway, which is known as 695, as opposed to the Capitol Beltway or the Ring of Doom, known as 495. Folks, if you ever decide to visit the Baltimore, Washington area, trust me, don't drive around the Capitol Beltway. The Capitol Beltway will just cause you pain. There's a traffic jam, and it's easy to predict. Anytime the sun comes up, there's a traffic jam on the Capitol Beltway. Don't do that to yourself. Don't drive drunk. Get a drunk cab driver. Actually, I'm joking. Don't drive drunk. I would say probably if you're going to visit this area, there's a couple cool places you want to hit. Definitely, you truly do want to do Washington, D.C. Trust me. You can walk the best parts of Washington, D.C. in about a day. Without a doubt, hit all the Smithsonians. Without a doubt. All the Smithsonians. You definitely, absolutely want to hit the Air and Space Museum. You truly, absolutely, positively want to, well, do the touristy things. I don't know about getting on top of the Washington Monument. I mean, that's, I've been up there. It's small, it's cramped, it's hot. The windows are tiny. It's really not worth the trip. Lincoln Memorial's cool. You definitely, really, truly should hit all of our military, well, infamous, famous spots. I mean, you know, I truly would say you probably would want to pay your credits at the all the cemeteries. There's a couple good ones. They are, well, they're beautiful. I mean, they're very well kept. I mean, yeah, they're boneyards, but it's very respectfully done, and it's definitely worth the trip. I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit here, but I want to give you something besides me just driving point A to point B, back down to point A again. And I'm going to break off on this segment, and, well, when I get a little closer, I'll fire it back up again. Yeah, this is probably one of the cool parts about having the setup that we do. Built in, in-site, or on-site bulk fuel tank. Oh man, that makes life easy. Also, never mind the fact I got a gate key, so I can just let myself in any old time and fill this beast up. Now, you guys will probably wonder just how big the flatbed actually is, so I'm going to give you a quick walk around. It's kind of like the last segment here. Basically, the flatbed itself is 19 feet. So from the front and all the way up to the very front, you got 19 feet. So let's just take a quick snoop here. Basically, you got side boxes. Of course, you have the obligatory, don't splash every single person in your path device, the rear version. 19.5 tires, they're not small. You've got two controls on either side of the vehicle. Let me just do a quick walkthrough real quick. This is the thing on the very back that the car and the second car rides on, called a wheel lift. So that is up, down, that is in, out. This is the winch cable, which is all the way up front, that pulls the car on and locks it down. Coming over here, you have a tilt control that basically is what tilts the bed up and down. This is what rolls the bed in and out of the vehicle. Goes back probably about better part of probably 15, 16 feet or so. It doesn't go the full 19 feet. That's a physical impossibility. Just won't happen. But you cannot tilt the bed until you run the bed back a certain point, because at the very front there's these things that stick out and plug into the end of the bed to keep the bed from flopping around too much, or breaking loose, or flopping around, or doing other dangerous things. And now you're probably wondering what's the wheel lift look like. So let's go back to the back of the wheel lift here. All right, you have these things, and these are called, either in the parlance of the correct parlance, are called grids. What they do is they slide in and out on the tongue here, which is basically a big ass pivot. You can screw trailer balls on there. You do have accessory tie down chains. These are called safety chains. You always must have the second vehicle secured with a safety chain in case it breaks loose. and it grabs it, keeps it dragging with you, and keeps it from breaking free in traffic. Now, also, you got these things called L-bars. What the L-bar does is it's square on the end, and it plugs into here. There's this guy, which is basically just a lock that slides a pin in, locks it into place. Correspondingly, there's another one right here that locks the grid from going in and out. So basically, what you have is you have the front part of the tire in there. You have the back part of the tire in the L-bar. So basically, it is holding the wheel, and it's got nowhere to go. Then there's a strap that locks into the side of the L-bar that clamps it down and keeps it from popping out. That's called a tire strap. Have an auxiliary plug for the second set of lights. It always must be on the second vehicle. And basically that's about it. There is numerous tie downs. That is a steel bed. That is a steel bed that is a better part of, oh geez, that's 3/8 at least, man. It's some thick metal. And it is not light duty. I mean, you could really drag some serious stuff on there and it won't hurt it. All right, folks, I'm going to break off on this part, and back in the shop. Truck should be about full at this point, and I'm a little tired. Been driving all day, and it's time to go home. All right, folks, I'm going to break off on this part, so always here on the 80s Podcast channel, and always, see you guys, and, well, as you know it, you love it, and sometimes you don't understand it. I'm saying 80s.